Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Shah. I got a video from Coach Greg Adams. He has a channel called Free Agent Lifestyle. And I also got Mark-Senpai in the building.
Hey, how's it going?
Let's take a look at the clip.
Specialist yet to meet one who can handle friends with benefits. Yeah, friends with benefits is not a long-term strategy. That's why I don't promote it as much. And I have specific guidelines and rules about friends with benefits. So I think there's a short shelf life for a real good friends with benefits relationship. And that shelf life is exactly 6 weeks. Okay. So if you're going to do, this is why I don't talk about it as much. You got 6 weeks with a good friends. The best part of this friends with benefits is only 6 weeks. Now, here's the thing. You can continue past it and you can do fairly well with the friends with benefits, but that's when trouble starts. That's when trouble starts. So after 6 weeks, gentlemen, I'm giving you instruction here. The best time to get out of a friends with benefits is after 6 weeks. I mean, up to 6 weeks. If you extend it past that, you're asking for trouble.
The reason this clip stood out to me was because I've always said there's no true friends with benefits. And the reason I say that is because I think on a long enough timeline, one person is going to end up emotionally attached to the other, or like liking the other person more than the other person likes them.
Yeah.
So at that point, it can get a little tumultuous, you know. If a true friends with benefits can exist, both people have to be probably extremely emotionally mature.
Yeah, and I'm thinking like, you know, I don't have much experience in this realm, but if you get 6 weeks with anything, that's actually kind of like I don't know. How do you get to 6 weeks on a friends with benefits without like actually one person catching feelings? You know, that seems like, you know, six weeks is like a workout plan or a workout routine. You know, that's like that is a little bit of a commitment, right? To say like, oh, this is a big change. Like now I'm just with this person for however long, you know?
Yeah, it's just, I don't think there's a true negotiated friends with benefits. So I think it's interesting what Coach is saying. Let's get back to it.
Meaning that we know we're friends with benefits. You're going Roski. These are no condom relationships, highly likely.
That part, I mean, you should definitely be using a condom.
Yeah,
I mean, but that's because as a former child support officer for 5 years.
That's just always, that's rule number one.
That's rule number one.
You just got to wrap
it up. Rule number 2 is flush it down the toilet or put it in the back pocket of your jeans.
Take it home.
On the way out of there.
Take it to go.
All right. All right, moving on.
And you're probably going to hit that bottom and you're going to be digging her out and putting your back and knee to it, right? You're going to be trying to hit that bottom and it's going to be passionate. Friends with benefits is going to be highly passionate. You're going to be experimenting, exploring, hitting that bottom, and you're going to be doing a lot of stuff. Now, here's where it goes wrong. This is where it goes wrong. Because you're doing that biologically, she's going to attach to you. She's going to attach to you or you're going to attach to her.
I'm glad he said that because it's not just the woman. It's the guy that can get attached to.
Mm-hmm.
And that definitely happens.
And somebody's going to catch feelings. After 6 weeks, now up to 6 weeks, you can say, I told you this is just sex. And she can say, okay, I told you this was just sex, but you're going to get too comfortable. You're going to nut in her. You're going to do.
Don't do that. Definitely don't do that.
Something. And then she's going to catch feelings. Okay. This is inevitable. No women or man, you're going to catch feelings. Now you might not say you're going to catch feelings. You might be like, oh, I don't care. We just hooking up. Right. And then she might say, okay, we're just hooking up. Guess what? What eventually might happen is that you're going to find out she has a couple more friends with benefits or her ex still hitting that back. Okay. She's going to go out on a date with somebody and then you are going to catch feelings.
See, what that is, what he's describing is competition anxiety.
Yeah.
You know, is that you see that there's other people, there's other options there. So it makes that other person's value look higher.
Mm-hmm.
Where there's this weird period where it's just you two and everything's great. It's very Edenic, very Garden of Eden. And then when the other stuff starts happening, it goes from just a 2-person thing to now politics being involved.
Yeah.
And that's what creates these power struggles.
This could happen. Right. And then you're going to be like, hey, wait up. Hold up. I thought it was just me and you. I thought we had something. Well, who is he? What? You going to Jamaica? You gonna get throttled in Jamaica? Hold up. I thought we had a thing. And she gonna be like, listen, ain't no ring on this finger. I ain't got no man. Remember, it's just hookup. I thought we were just hooking up. And you go, whoa. We are just hooking up, but I ain't gonna be hooking up with no 304. And she gonna be like, oh, you calling me a 304? Hey, all this shit that I done licked you everywhere. I done sucked your toes. You calling me a 304? Hey man, I did this for you, and you the one that didn't want to commit. And so I'm going to go get throttled. You can't tell me what to do. I ain't your girl. You ain't my man. And that's how it's going to work. And then you going to be sitting up there like this as she getting throttled.
The level of description he has.
He's amazing.
Texting her, where you at, bitch? Where you at? Okay. That could happen to you.
So here's the thing, and I agree with what he's saying, but I think the one part that he's missing out that could make this situation deal with a bull is you have to be talking to other chicks yourself. That's the only thing that could possibly work. You know, and the only way a possible true friends with benefits is going to work is if I guess both of you are messing with other people.
Yeah.
Because then the minute this happens, the sad music and the guy crying or whatever that he was just doing, the reason that happens is because that guy doesn't have anybody else he can text or talk to when she goes to Jamaica to get throttled.
Yeah. That's crazy.
So that's how so if you're going to play the game that way, you really have to go all in. Otherwise, you're leaving a huge vulnerability open to get hurt like that.
Yeah, and it's simple. I mean, it's like, yeah, you know, you guys said it was gonna be just sex.
Yeah,
and you can't assume that
it's not even said. It just happens this way. You know.
Yeah.
Because it was never said that there's a commitment.
Right. So it's like, you know, you said it's just sex.
Yeah.
So like you gotta kind of understand that, like, if it's just sex but it's the same person, that's almost the same as a relationship.
Yeah.
And it's like, you can't think of it that way. It's you gotta be like in the game anyways, like to get your first, second, and third option. You know, and that's what happens a lot of times is the ladies always have the options. They've got the first, second, and third options, but the dudes don't.
The dudes generally will not. Or the truth is, whoever is more attached might not because they're neglecting the pursuit of others.
Right.
Because they're starting to become too invested or they're indulging too much in this relationship. Mm-hmm. Like if I had to offer, Coach says pretty much stop at 6 weeks. That's his solution. But if you were going to venture past the 6 week mark, if there was going to be some rules, like from my end, you got to be pursuing the other chicks. Because when this eventually goes sideways, you're going to have a leg to stand on. Mm. And the second of it is if you're pursuing other people, don't rub it in any of these people's faces. You know?
Yeah.
So from your perspective, what you'll see is the other person might start going with someone else. So they're going to start pulling away. They're not going to be texting as frequently. You're not getting the memes or the other parts of that, the friends part of the benefits or whatever.
Yeah.
And if you're emotionally attached, you're going to be like, man, why isn't this happening? Something's wrong. But then at that point, you should be able to read the room. And then that's when you start pulling away and investing more in the other chicks you've been talking to and pursuing this whole time.
Yeah.
If not being with also. That's the only thing that can possibly reset the magnetism in this situation.
Right.
Then what happens is, as you guys both go away from each other on a long enough timeline, who knows, maybe she comes back, the fire's still lit, happens again, it's cool, everybody's cool, there was never a conflict, and it's good to go.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't think Coach is wrong to say the 6 week rule, but I think the 6 week generally applies if you're just pursuing the one person. Yeah. And pursuing is even a strange word if you're not trying to commit.
Yeah,
but that's the strange thing. So friends with benefits can happen, but you have to sort of de-evolve to this sort of like pre-civilization human sexual strategy level. Like there's a book called Sex at Dawn, and it pretty much theorizes that early humans species from whatever they evolved from kind of roved around in bands of like 15 to 20 people, and they'd all kind of have sex with each other. Which is different from now where we live in these giant mega civilizations. Yeah. So, I mean, you know, with millions of people. But But a friends with benefits that's going to hopefully work and not have as much backlash is going to be pursuing the other people. Now, the part of that you can't control is if the person that you're with isn't pursuing other people, and then they get really stuck on you. Mm-hmm. But that's where not kind of rubbing in the face of you messing with other chicks or her messing with other guys is a good rule to have.
Right.
Because then it should hopefully prevent someone from feeling like they've been, insulted, and then they want to really get you back. But some people lose their minds, and that's possible, and that's probably why coach says past 6 weeks is generally not a good idea.
Because if you don't commit to her, she can do whatever the hell she want. On the vice versa side, and then what'll typically happen with friends with benefits, because y'all are not committed and y'all not hooking up, y'all will still hook up, but then y'all gonna play a game of war. Then you're gonna start having hoes, and then you're gonna start let her.
There it is. Okay, so he's addressing talking to other people, but that's coming from a point of the guy wasn't talking to anybody else, right, and now he's pursuing the host to try to get her back. Yeah. So they still heavily ego invested.
Catching you having hoes, and then she's gonna let you catch a ninja come through her door. Oh, he had to go pick up something that he left here last night, and you laying there in the bed. Oh my god! Hi, sir. Yep. Or you come over, you want to check up on her, and then she come to the door holding her titties. What you want? I'm in here with somebody else. Dexter blowing my back out. Ninja.
And what's interesting,
Dexter.
Well, what's interesting about that too is the problem he's showing is this is someone who has a friends with benefits, and at the beginning, it's not that big of a deal, because you're getting what you want, everything's good. You haven't seen her pursuing anything else, so her value hasn't been blown up before that. So the status quo is good. And then once Dexter starts coming in, you start seeing signs. Then it starts making the person anxious. And then you're kind of looking for how it was before that, and you start kind of becoming possessive and this and that. But what's interesting is that that's just an important thing to recognize. That what I'm trying to get at is you might end up wanting to be with someone or then wanting to commit with someone, not because you even wanted to commit to them, but because you're now reacting to this competition anxiety.
Yeah.
And you just feel like you want to be with them, but what you don't understand is that there's this whole psychological game being played with you. Mm-hmm. So if you recognize that, you might be able to escape being ensnared in that. But, that's tough too. So, yeah.
Hey, what I'm saying is, yep, and he taller and bigger, and he got a big nose. As they say, ninjas with big noses got big members. He got big feet and big hands. You looking at this ninja, he like, how's it going? How are you, little man? Huh? How do you know him? He your lawn jockey? He looks like a good little guy. Hey, can you take the garbage downstairs while you at it? Looking like, oh shit, it's ninja. And then he got a Mercedes S550 parked out. Whose Mercedes S550 is that parked in your driveway?
It's a very specific example.
I bet he drives an S5.
That's what happens when you got friends with benefits. That's why I don't endorse it, because you're playing with fire. I always tell you, and you cannot cut it off after 6 weeks because it's too juicy. It's too good. Somebody gonna catch feelings. She gonna catch feelings for you. Y'all gonna be playing war, and I got the baddest bitches. I got more hoes than you, and then it's gonna get messy. It's gonna get messy. The only time this works is if they live an hour or two away, and y'all got y'all little thing. But if they close in the neighborhood, and you got a friends with benefits, you're eventually gonna want to see her 3 nights, 4 nights a week, and it's gonna be a relationship.
I think the distance point kind of goes back to not rubbing things in people's faces. Like he sort of says the distance thing can work because you guys are both far away, you don't see each other that often, and both parties are probably doing stuff with other people, but since you're not in proximity, you're not going to see that.
Yeah.
So it would make sense if you can put the barrier there. Mm-hmm. But, again, I think it's very hard to have a true friends with benefits.
But not a commitment. Yeah, forget it. It's just too good. So just be careful with them. Be careful with them. 6 weeks. All men, cut them off after 6 weeks, or if you do not cut them off after 6 weeks, everything that happens after that is your fault. Yes, it is. We got to be accountable.
And it's all Jermaine's fault. It's all Jermaine's fault.
She going to be putting it on you on week 6. She going to be putting it on you, throwing that thing putting her, dropping her neck. And you're going to be like, man, I can't give this shit up. I'm getting it for free. You like, I'm getting it for free. I cannot, coach. I can't stop, man. It's 6 weeks. And then all of a sudden, damn, I think I'm late on my period.
Oh, man. See, got to use the condom. I mean, you guys have to have a plan. Listen, I mean, you have to have a plan, you know, and you got to be like, hey, if this condom breaks, what's the plan? You know, and I know that's not fun to talk about, but if you guys aren't on the same page about that, you have to understand and accept what happens next. Yeah. You know,
do the work up front.
Yeah.
Do the work up front. Get the awkward shit out the way.
Yeah.
And then go have fun. But man, that's.
Yeah.
I'm getting flashbacks, man. That's not a good thing.
The sleepless nights. Oh God, the shock.
It didn't turn into anything, but it's like
yeah.
You know, some guys have like the irregular thing, you know, like so sometimes it's like, oh, it's been a while.
Man,
I'm like, oh shit, like how long? It's like, oh,
you'll be awake at night. Then that's what I start hearing in the darkness as I'm wondering. So yeah, I mean, anyways, check out Coach's channel, Free Agent Lifestyle, if you haven't been looking at it before. He's one of my favorite YouTubers, and every morning when I'm eating breakfast and driving to work, I'm listening to the Free Agent Lifestyle channel. You know, doesn't mean I agree with everything he says, but damn, 99.999% of it is pretty good. So, anyways, yeah, let me know what you think down below. Let us know if some of your experiences with the Friends with Benefits. If you agree with this, disagree with this, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. You know, just get this channel to 1,000 subs. We're at 905. Slowly been moving in the right direction, which is pretty awesome. And we'll catch you on the next one. See you.